Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, folks. It's Thursday afternoon, and I have some customer board to repair, as well as doing some other stuff, such as unboxing this little thing called a Gundamhaku. I don't know. But welcome. Moons of Empire, you got first today. Congratulations. Says good afternoon. I hope everyone is doing well. Fillet of Fish is here as well. Says afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Mr. Kalane is here and he says, hello, everyone's. How are you on this fine insert day? Afternoon. I am not a bot and I'm not selling things. You are most certainly not a bot, good sir, no matter how much you try to be. Rue is here as well. Good afternoon, Rue. I hope you're doing well. New Metal's here too, with the pet ISO. V Rugdish is here as well. He says, good afternoon, Jay and fellow prototypelings. Oh, I like that. So does Kalane as well. That is a good word. It is, yeah. Oh, fellow. Fellow's the good word. I thought prototypelings might be a good word. Mr. Bezic is here as well. He says good afternoon as well. And Basil Mighty is here too. Says good afternoon. Question: why is Gundam such a big thing in keyboards? I don't think it's Gundam specifically. I think it's crossovers of hobbies that just happen to sorry, I'm kicking off my shoes here. That happen to intersect with keyboards. For example, there is a massive overlap between keyboards and coffee. People who like being into keyboards and selecting the switches and lubricating the stabilizers absolutely are the type of people who have a ritual around making their coffee. And I think there's multiple other hobbies that overlap in the same way. Gundam kind of stuff is for one. So there's also like this big anime crossover, and I guess Gundam's kind of come out of anime as well. So there's kind of like the keyboards and anime crossover. So many key sets are based on anime characters or colorways. The same for Gundam style stuff as well. And then I think there's some other ones like when you get into the real depths of weeb culture, there's kind of like, you know, that kind of stuff as well. It has a big crossover with keyboard collectors I've seen. Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, you know, anything that kind of has like a nerdy clique to it has some sort of overlap with keyboards somewhere, whether that be in the design space or the colorway choices or just in terms of general life decisions. There's a massive car collection culture, like physical cars crossing over with keyboards as well. People who like to build keyboards like to build cars, it turns out, as well. So there's kind of like this whole massive mishmash of overlapping interests, and I think it's just keyboards are kind of like a nexus point for so many different things, whether it be video gaming or watching anime or working on cars. You know, a keyboard just touches so many different people's lives, and if you have that type of mind where you're into hobbies, I think that's just where it fits. Feet? No, not feet. Not feet. I don't get the fascination with feet. Like, I understand people like to look at certain parts of people's anatomy. I completely get that. But feet, just not for me. Not for me. I just don't get it. But hey, like, whatever, right? I'm not gonna yuck somebody's yum just because they're like that. Lubricating is a nicer word than lube. Makes me happier. Yeah, lubricating tends to suggest more of a mechanical nature. Like you might lubricate a machine or a car part or a keyboard part. Lube has more sexual connotations than lubricating does. Yeah. Oh, you said feet because you took your shoes off, not because I want a foot keyboard. Yeah, I wear my trainers in the workshop, but then when I sit down at my desk, I have to kick my shoes off because I just like to air my feet out. And I do wear socks, but I'm not going to show my feet on stream. So yeah, that's it. You had to screenshot and zoom back in. Wait, what? For anyone who wondered, Jay's wearing fleshlight coloured trousers and not going full Winnie the Pooh. Wait, when did you see my shorts? How did you see my shorts? Like, I have shorts on. They're like tan. Loop me up, said no one ever. Can't have the dogs out in your own abode. I mean, technically this isn't my abode, because if it was my abode, I'd be living there, I'd be habitating. I mean, I might as well live here, to be honest, but yeah. I imagine there's a lot of keyboard enjoyers that love building, collecting Gundam and other ones. Yeah, exactly. It's like Lego has a massive crossover. There's a lot of people who collect Lego. I have some really, really cool like electronic sets, and there's people who are into synthesizers, such as Jim K. Andy and Bomtans, and people who are into Nixie tubes like me and a few other people. You know, there's so many different crossovers. Watches is another great crossover. Just anything that has a collectible or tangible element to how you interact with it. Usually some sort of physical interaction, like you know, like doing something or making something. But yeah, it's good. Your top mat shows beyond the edge of your desk. Normally it's a bit more zoomed in on the desk mat, so your shorts were showing. Oh, okay. I think it's because you're used to seeing it on this part, where the white bit at the bottom blocks out that view just here. And usually, because I stream on an evening, it's dark. So in that top corner, you usually can't see this bit because it's just dark in the room. But yes, I am wearing shorts. They are quite short shorts, but yeah. Yes. Such is life. I'm very sure this has been said. I mean, not in those particular words, but I've heard some people say similar things. Analog music gear nerd here. Absolutely. I like collecting in general. Think, yeah, I collect collections is how I like to describe it. They're not hot pants. They're just shorts. Look, how far back can I stand and you'll be able to see me? They're just shorts. They're not hot pants. They're just shorts. They're not hot pants. In chat, do not encourage him. They're not hot pants. They're just shorts. I like short shorts. What's wrong with that? Hey, I have a pink pair of these shorts as well. Don't be doing SPC rockets if they're hot pants. They're not hot pants. Shorts are longer than those. They're hot pants. They're not hot pants. They're shorts. It's in the name. Short, right? They're not hot pants. They're just shorts. Oh dear. If you bring like Kylie Minogue style hot pants, I'm not wearing those. Like, I'm just not. Like, too much will be on display and it will not be good fun. It will not be good fun. Infiltration, thank you for the 3 streak. I appreciate you. Mr. Physic, if you bring like gold hot pants, it's just not happening. I will not wear them. Like, nobody needs to see that. Nobody wants to see that. You will not pay for it. Your Yorkshire was showing while you processed it. Sometimes I think my Yorkshire does come out when I'm upset, yeah, or stressed. Instead of charging for the software, that'll be the cost. I'll take that crippling financial damage for the PT community. How much does it cost you to run the auction site, Chris? Because I will genuinely pay you for it. Like I think that's a valid thing to pay you for. So how much does it cost you to run it? I guess. Like when we did the auction the other day, £0. Okay. How much did it cost you to build it then? Maybe we should pay a percentage of the build costs if other people use it in the end as well. Right, okay. So let's catch up with some PT news very, very quickly. One hot pant wearing day per auction? No, I don't make the rules. I mean, clearly you do. No. £0 is truly crippling. I mean, if you have £0, it is truly crippling. Yeah. Anyway, PT news. Most of the shipment that we had the other week that we talked about on Sunday is done and gone. There's a couple of things that are waiting other parts. We have the Motif 65 keyboards here. They're waiting the GMK set and cables and other accoutrements. So they're on hold until they come. If anyone wants theirs shipping out beforehand, you can drop me an email. Superhands, if you're watching, I know you keep saying it, but you haven't sent me the email as far as I'm aware. Send me the email. We also have some Canon Keys boards, which I think are the AK-75s, but I did get an update the other day saying we're still waiting on the resin parts, so those are on hold as well. And then there's some Keycal 1800s I need to cut plates for, which I'll be doing tomorrow morning, and then we're fully done with the shipment. The next shipment is en route, and it's currently targeting the last couple of weeks of August to arrive, so we'll have more news on that when we get it. Last time I looked, it was almost at the Red Sea, so I think this one's actually going to go through the canal. I don't know, but it was almost at the Red Sea, unless it's still going to go around Africa, which it doesn't tell me the plot points of the rest of the course at the minute, so we'll see. But then that should be here in a couple of weeks time, 3 weeks time maybe. This coming week is probably quite a quiet week for us, which means we'll have a chance to do things like a stock take and catch up on some other bits and pieces. I have to pay my corporation tax bill for last year this week as well, because paying on the deadline, of course, it's better money in my pocket than it is in theirs. My grey hairs are really showing through today, my beard, look. So yeah. Combo Breaker as well, yeah, Moons. Yeah, Combo Breaker has shipped from GMK. We had the Message from DHL saying being collected. The current estimated delivery date is Tuesday, so we might depend. DHL often deliver before they say they will, so we might get them on Monday. If we do, we'll get them out then. If not Tuesday, we'll get them out then. If you want to join the pre-order and get it a little bit cheaper, join now because it will be shipping in the next few days. So yeah, that's pretty much it for PT news. The week after is quite interesting as well. So that'll be not next week, but the week after. So week commencing the 10th is going to be quite interesting because we have a work experience person coming in. I haven't told Mel this yet because I haven't seen her because Mel's been off this week. I'll see her tomorrow and catch her up on this, but we do have someone coming in for the work experience. She's just starting her GCSEs and she's going to be coming along for 2 days on the 10th and the 11th, which is quite exciting and interesting. Hopefully she will get some interest out of it. I'm going to ask for advice on social media because I'm terrible at it, and I'm sure someone of that age will be good at it, so we'll see how that goes, but that's quite fun. So we've got a kind of a catch-up week next week, Mel and I, and then the week after we've got work experience and some other bits and pieces happening as well. The coffee stuff that next week is going to start to go through its rebrand. So I've got a conversation with a friend of mine called Tim. Hi Tim, if you're watching, on Tuesday, and we're going to start to walk through what I want the branding to look like and how we're going to build that up, and also another project that him and I have been talking about for 6 months and done nothing with. So we're going to start to get those both lifted off and pushed in the right direction, and then hopefully that will all be done by the time the next shipment arrives, and then we can concentrate on that. In terms of PT's moving stuff, like moving warehouse, the warehouse space, well, not warehouse space, but the commercial space I was looking to let, when we've got solicitors involved, I've spent thousands of pounds now on solicitors to negotiate the contract, and everything's kind of fallen through last minute. So it looks like it's not happening. So need to find another place. I think a Yorkshire pudding is a bit like a toe camel, isn't it? Maybe. Or is that your Savoy cabbages showing? The genuine accent makes me happy inside. Like, how I speak on stream is generally my genuine accent now. It's become my accent over time. Maybe it was adopted at the first, years ago, but it has become my accent. I do become more Yorkshire when I hang around Yorkshire people, especially a friend of mine called Lewis, who is as broad as they come. And when I hang around Mel, I get a real potty mouth because she is a frequent cursor, and I pick up on that very, very quickly. Mel teaching me Yorkshire is something that I will always cherish. Mel is more Bradfordian than Yorkshire. She's got some very Bradford specific traits rather than necessarily generic Yorkshire ones, which I hope she doesn't mind me saying, but it's true. Whereas mine tended to be more Yorkshire and less Leedsy when I fall into it. Yeah. It's just one of those things. Like, we're back to the drawing board now. I actually have a conversation with a lovely woman named Tilly, which is a great name. Later on next week. So Wednesday next week it is. I'm just trying to figure out where we're on days wise. So Wednesday next week about other opportunity commercial spaces in the area we're wanting to move PT to. So we're going to have that conversation then. I'm probably going to go out and see her the week after that, and we'll see how that goes. So I can't even imagine the conversations you and Mel have on your own. Like, I mean, I do have a potty mouth myself, as she knows when we have conversations. But yeah, Mel and I, when we get together, it can be really, really bad. Some of the things we end up talking about as well, because we're both ADHD as hell, some of the things that we end up talking about work, and then all of a sudden we're on a tangent about something so obscure no one's ever even heard of it before. It's just one of those things. I try and temper my swearing for the stream, and especially when I'm in a professional setting. But yeah. Right. Okay. So that's kind of what's upcoming for PT in the next couple of weeks. There's a lot of different stuff. I've just noticed someone's asked for the PT60J PCB to use it via. I'm just going to reply to that. I'm just going to grab them the link because I've seen that someone's asking for something, and I kind of have this overwhelming need to provide it. There we go. Right. Love a good accent. Yeah, me too. I think my favourite accents are probably the Irish. If someone talks to me in an Irish accent, I mean like broad central Irish accent, I just melt. I just melt. Yeah. If you have dark hair and tattoos at the same time, I am screwed, basically. So yeah. The conversation was I've been all over the place, dude. Like the conversations we had in the car when we went to the Formula One, like you can tell just how my mind just goes off on massive tangents and has ideas and stuff like that. But yeah, Irish accents are probably my favourite. I also quite like the Scottish accent, and I do have a bit of a thing for like a New Zealand Wellington accent as well. So yeah. Captain Reed, are you listening? Where is Reed? He's usually on stream. Do you like that a person's personality can really influence your dislike of their accent? Do I find that a person's personality can really influence? I don't dislike. I've never disliked someone because of their accent. Have I ever liked someone more because I like the sound of their voice? Maybe before I've got to know them, like the sound of their voice has been really nice, and I've got to know them, and in fact, actually, So I think maybe really early on, before I actually know someone properly, maybe if I like their voice, it will help me like them more. Maybe. I don't know. But like I have one friend who's actually really, really famous. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but they are really famous. Like you've all heard of them. And we don't speak very often, but we speak maybe 2-3 times a year. And like we are aware of each other. And she has probably the poshest voice I've ever heard, but in a really nice posh way. And we actually met through something years ago where we ended up speaking on the phone about something. Like this is probably 20 years ago now, when she was probably at the height of her fame. She's a musician, just so you're aware. So she was at the height of her fame, and that we kind of ended up speaking on the phone. And I didn't know who she was at the time. And I ended up speaking to this person on the phone, and I didn't like, you know, when you fall in love with a sound. I didn't fall in love with her, but like in the sound of her voice. So this is quite true. It's not Theresa May. It's not Theresa May, but yeah. So maybe I was more interested in, because I didn't know who she was. I was more interested in knowing her because her voice sounded good, and not in a attractive way, but like I just liked the, super melodic voice, and we became friends from that. So maybe in a positive way, not in a negative way. But it's a good question. It's not Theresa May. I didn't know that Theresa May was a musician, but I'll take your word for it. Some of my best friends have a Dudley accent, and because they're lovely people, my position on the accent has softened. Dudley. I'm not a fan of a Birmingham accent, but I do have friends from Birmingham, so I can look past that. I may at some point have known a lady from Dudley. Maybe. She was smart and lovely, just a horrible judgmental person who couldn't get past it. Susan Boyle, isn't it? It's not Susan Boyle. I'm not going to tell you who it is because it's not fair. What about foreign accents? I think I mean, yeah, like there are certain accents that I could listen to all day. Why have we got onto a tangent about accents? Like that really, that 60s kind of with a cigarette, sultry French accent. Oh my god, like, yeah, a weak at the knees for that kind of thing. Maybe I like it when there's fast paced to language as well, and people talk to me and it just sounds like a million miles an hour. It's like Portuguese is a really good example of that. I have some friends who and they speak Portuguese, and they speak Portuguese to each other when they're trying to figure out what I've said to them because they can't understand my accent sometimes. That's quite good fun. But yes, yeah. My family in Birmingham. Moons, you are lovely, so I'm sure your family are lovely. There are certain ways people talk that irk me for some reason. It's strange how an accent can drastically change how you think about someone. I don't think I've ever had it in a negative way. I mean, there's certain accents I don't like the Dudley accent does grate on me a little bit, but that's because I'm not from there. I know my wife hates the Yorkshire accent, so why she married me, I don't know. But, you know, I mean, it's just the sound of things, right? Which ones do I find terrifying, if any? I speak to a lot of Chinese people with what we do at PT, and sometimes I think I've done something really wrong because they sound like they're quite aggressive when they're talking to each other in Chinese, and I think I've done something wrong and I think I've upset them, and it turns out it's not. It's just you know, the emphasis they put on certain words and inflection they have in their tone doesn't translate over to like Western styles as well. So I often think when I'm in a conversation with a lot of Chinese people and they're talking Chinese on like a big Zoom call, I'm like, oh crap, did I just put my foot in it? Did I say something wrong? And then like, oh no, we can do that. Yeah, we can do that. We can match that price, or we can do this. That's a really good point. Or yeah, we can absolutely fix that for you, Jay. So often it's kind of
tasty,
kind of that kind of thing. But I don't think anything's particularly terrifying. Blackbrook, thank you so much for 50 months of subs. 50 months of subs, dude. That's crazy. I work with a half Irish, half Italian. He's very animated. I bet. Yeah. The big 5-0. Yeah, wait until you get there in age, dude. You're catching me up slowly. My partner thinks I'm arguing anytime I speak to my family in Greek. One of my ex's dads used to speak fluent Greek. He was called Martin, a really nice guy, Martin Dick, and that was his genuine surname. And he actually married a lady called oh gosh, what was her name? Dawn Large. Like I knew her surname, I couldn't remember her first name. Yeah, Martin Dick. But he used to speak fluent Greek. He lived in Zante for many years as like a teenager into early adulthood, and we used to go back to Zante or Zakynthos every year for holiday when I was with her, and he just used to speak the most fluent Greek and just knew everybody. And yeah, I used to learn maybe one or two words and I've forgotten all of it now, but yeah, fluent Greek. And yeah, Greek sounds really, really good fun. Like it's quite quick and quite fast paced and quite not aggressive, but it feels like if it was someone speaking in English, I think they were almost being standoffish from that tone, but I don't think they are at all. So yeah. I do try and curb my Mancunian a little bit. I really don't like strong Manc accents, but it does creep out when I get a drink or a bit animated. I don't think I've ever heard you be overly Mancunian. Heard Angela Rayner speak in person for the first time a few weeks ago, and it definitely was not what I was expecting. Interesting. Right. Okay. Time to actually do something on stream instead of just talking about random stuff, because we're going off at a million tangents. And before anyone mentions it, yeah, my eczema's coming through on my forehead a little bit. If anyone has any really good remedies for eczema, please let me know, because it's getting quite tender up there, quite sore. I need to fix it. Which is why I'm not wearing a hat, because I feel like having a brow on the hat doesn't do it any good either. But things aside. Right. Here's Mr. Reed. Good afternoon. You were summoned. You weren't summoned, but welcome. You love Geordie and Scouse? Scouse? Maybe not. Like, Scouse I just think of Cilla Black. Maybe that's because of my age. I don't know anyone who's from Liverpool. I don't think. Maybe I do. Jay streams are the opposite of what Mano does. Mano has everything done in 45 minutes, and Jay's just barely starting. Yeah. It's my ADHD. That's what it is. And Dolphin, thank you so much for the gift, sir. I really appreciate that. And thank you for lighting up the pink rocket ship behind me. Right, okay, let's do some actual stuff, because I have some customer repairs to do today. So I want to make sure we're on these. Yeah, I've tried a couple of corticosteroid creams, but I don't want to have to go back to the doctors with it again. I think it's just because the weather's been so warm and muggy for just so many weeks. I just need it to cool down a bit. That'll be okay. And I just need to stop wearing a hat at the workshop for a week or two. So, the first one we have is this. This is a PCB that a customer has sent in. And I haven't plugged it in and checked it yet. I've just opened it to make sure I have everything. Effectively, what they have reported is that the question mark key does not work. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a look at the PCB. It's from a DK1 TKL. So it seems to be this key here. The first thing I'm going to do is have a look at the key. Oh, it is labeled on the back, so you can see here. This is the key that they've said does not work. It does look a little bit... It doesn't look as flat, as smooth as the other ones in terms of this edge across the top here. It actually looks like it might be slightly out of position. Can you see that? It looks like it's slightly twisted on the point. Like, if I look at it from here, it looks slightly twisted. Can you see that? It just doesn't look quite as straight as the others. Let me try and get a straight edge. Do I have anything with a straight edge? Come on, Jay, you must have something with a straight edge. I do not. I do not. But it does look like it may be slightly askew, slightly twisted. This side down, this side up, just ever so slightly. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'd appreciate life getting less complicated as we became adults. Life finds a way or something, right? Okay, let's get this plugged in and we'll give it a try. So, first things first, just want to plug in the ribbon cables. Try and figure out how this goes now. It's going to go this way. It says, oh no, it doesn't go when it goes this way. Maybe it's supposed to go in the backs, actually. I think it's supposed to go in the backs. Next to that. Okay, let's grab a cable. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna test and see if that's the actual issue first, Moons. But yeah, we probably will put a. We get the bleep. Let's load up switches. Okay, grab some tweezers, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to test a few keys just randomly around first of all, just to make sure that we are getting. So this should be the Y key. Oh, we're getting nothing going. Oh, hang on, wait a second. It doesn't look like that one's been quite so well. Oh, wow. Thank you so much for the gift subs. I thoroughly appreciate that. Jellymaster gifting out the gift subs there. Thank you so much. Okay, tried that again. Let's just see if now we can exit. Is it anything? So we're definitely getting something. I'm pretty sure I saw another new flash. Okay, is this going to work? I'm going to get this key to work. There we go. We're getting some shorts there. Oh, is that because I'm touching the PCB in multiple places? Okay, let's see if this key works now. Okay, it seems to be working just fine. Let's try this a different way. Let's put some switches in and give it a second try. could have just left that, but didn't look. Right, let's just grab some switches and pop. Might also because I'm not used to seeing it. I have lost a lot of weight recently. Thank you for asking. Over the past year, I'm down about, maybe even longer, maybe 18 months. I'm down about 5.5 stone. I'm not sure what that is in pounds or kilos, but yes, I have lost a lot of weight. I appreciate you noticing. Thank you, sir. Mainly just through cleaner eating. I've actually put a little bit of weight on recently, but that's more because I've started working out a bit more. Just a little bit more muscle mass. I just wanted to get down to a set weight before I did anything, but I kind of stalled on that a little bit. So, right, let's try reconnecting. With good news, we get the LEDs over here. Let's try reloading that, and then let's see if we get anything. Okay, so okay, that's the doorbell. I will be back in 2 minutes, folks. 2 minutes. Okay, that was just a courier dropping something off. Oh, right. Okay, so it looks like everything's working, including the question mark. So now I feel like I have to get some more switches and test the whole thing. I don't have enough switches in this bag. Let me take these ones out. Yeah, it was just a delivery. The same doorbell. Right, let me grab a bag of actual switches rather than just a small amount. And let's test the whole thing. Let me zoom the camera out a little bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do, so customer, just let me load up the customer's email. Oh, so log in. Hold on. Okay, where is... Got it. Upon testing the PCB, it seems that the question mark key does not work at all. All the other keys work in fire. Okay, let's just test every key then and make sure that the whole thing works. MI6? Wait, what? I'm wondering if the customer just tested it with tweezers and just didn't get the tweezers in the right spot and didn't test it with switches installed. Or if they had to just bend the pin when they were installing the switch, I don't know. I don't even know what switches these are, to be honest. They're just a bag of random switches, but they also don't feel like they're touching the sockets. Are going in very, very easily, and usually that's a sign that they're not, the sockets aren't holding onto the switches very well, so I wonder if it's that. We shall see. What are you taking predictions on? Are you taking predictions on whether this is a faulty PCB or a customer build issue? Is that the gist? In before these switches aren't making contact and I have to replace them all because they don't feel like the pins feel quite thin, so it doesn't feel like they're actually touching the sockets. Guessing who's at the door and I just missed it. Yeah, it was just DPD doing a drop off. I suspect it was a customer return because it looked like one of our boxes. Or something that was undelivered and returned back to us. But that would be a job for tomorrow morning now. I am excited to unbox the Gundamhaku in a bit though. I've been teasing myself and edging myself with the box all day because it's got like some black paper surrounding it, so I can't actually see anything. And the paper kind of like has been torn in a certain way, so it leaves holes in it. So I've been trying to peek through the holes without touching it. Which sounds even more dodgy now I've said it that way. Did you get DPD right? Yes, it was DPD doing a drop off. I'll be back in a couple of hours to collect. Sussy Jane. Shush. You know what my Instagram is like. Shush. Yeah, mine came on Tuesday, I think it was delivered. And yeah, I'm excited for it. I haven't seen any pictures in the wild of them either, so okay. Right, that's all of the switches installed. Let's now connect up and have a look at switch shifter and see what we get. F13 is working, but there's no F13 on the thing. Pause is working, but it's clearly got another function. Arrows are working. Oh, sugar, we're on ISO. We need to be on Nancy. More like that. Cancel. Okay, all looking good so far. Ooh, definitely works. Okay, that's definitely because we're getting the LED light up, that's working as well. Okay, I do not see any issues with this. Like, that's definitely working. Okay, so I'm going to just have to I'm going to have to share this stream with the customer because that looks like it's working. Okay, I'm just going to reply to the customer now. Tested the board earlier today. It's on Twitch stream here. I'll drop the link in after the stream. I can't replicate the issue you described with the question mark key. All looks to be working correctly. Is there anything else I've missed in terms of your experience that I should be aware of to build into the testing? Cool. I shall send that afterwards. That's really interesting because it's now typing. Like I could have typed this in the email. Like it's literally typing in the email. So back on Twitch, that key definitely works. Interesting. Okay, we'll see what the customer said. They might have done something else that I'm not replicating in my testing, but it seems to be working just fine. Okay. Is the socket loose? I don't think so. No. I mean, where the switches go? Let's try it in a number of different positions. Let's try it all holding back in the socket. Let's try rocking the switch. No, all seems good. Yeah, all seems good. Please press space and right arrow key. The issue is I can't press space on this keyboard, even on Switch hitter, because it's not doing it now. It was before. It was set to like an FN function. I might have reset it or something, but there you go. There you go. Yeah, okay, all seems to be working just fine. I don't know. I mean, the customer might have been doing something different that I've not replicated in my test here, but it seems to be working just fine. We need the test run then. Now I know that, I'm going to leave some keys out every time I do it. Okay, so this one seems to be something either in the customer's local setup rather than actually a problem with the board. I will leave the switches installed and it can come off our test bed. I wonder if they just didn't have the ribbon cables installed correctly and that was as simple as it was. Okay. Right, I shall wait for the customer to come back to me on that one and then we'll figure that one out. But DK1 seems to be okay. Seems to be okay. Okay, next up. So I've done a little bit on this one. I haven't done any testing yet. This is another customer who's reported some issues with some LEDs and the PCB not responding. So I've just popped some switches in this. And this customer did a really, really nice bit of detail. Oh, I'll just hide that one back. Please be enclosed my Neo Ergo, which I'm sending for inspection for the issues we discussed. Thank you for trying to assist me on Discord. The keyboard was purchased from you in March and initially worked without any problems. Okay, cool. So it was working fine. Recently, however, several of the LEDs stopped functioning. Following Jay's suggestion, I updated the keyboard's firmware to see if this would resolve the issue. After doing so, the keyboard developed additional problems. The keyboard no longer responds to any key presses. It is still detected by VIA and remains configurable. After the firmware update, the LEDs briefly began working again, but became stuck displaying a single colour. Since then, the LEDs have stopped working altogether. At this point, the keyboard is effectively unusable, so I'm sending it in for your assessment. Thank you very much for taking the time to investigate the issue. Appreciate your help and look forward to hearing what you find. If you need any further information from you, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Okay, great. So, keyboard is unresponsive, so all I've done is put some switches in here. I literally just disconnect the PCBs, pop some switches in so we can test it, and then pop the PCBs back on. I can't see anything looking at the bottom of it that would suggest there's an issue. Looks okay. All the pins are correct. The LEDs which run down in these gaps here are probably the ones that the customer means, I suspect. But that could just be the function layer that they're on, maybe. Who knows? Let's have a look at the other one. Again, all looking good. I don't see anything that looks like it's burnt out or damaged. All of the components are where they should be. Okay, let's plug it in and give it a try. Let me switch it again. Okay. Right, NC. Let's get this plugged in. Okay, so we have LEDs, we have the Bing. That's good. Let's give this a test. Okay. Delete, page up, page down, not working. Oh, interesting. We had a disconnect and a reconnect noise. It was working at first. That tends to suggest it's just the pins are slightly dirty. Usually we experience when we get these kind of noises, it's usually just the pins that are slightly dirty. Get the Bing. Can we type? No, interesting. So it was typing a moment ago. Oh, C works. B works. Okay. So this looks like. Okay. Interesting. Okay. We've not got. Oh, there we go. Oh, we turned the PCB off before, I think. Or maybe not. So this column. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so there's definitely a problem with this half of the PCB. I don't see anything that looks like damage to it. I wonder if there's a ribbon cable issue inside. That's often the next best thing to check. Red just means chatter, but it's often because I've pressed the key too fast. So if I'm hammering the key, sometimes I get that. So yeah, interesting though. Okay, so we definitely have issues on the left-hand side. Let's take the ribbon cables out. I wonder if there's a ribbon cable issue here. So we'll just take the weight. I can't remember how to take these apart. I'll grab some screwdrivers. Big. Yes, that's too big. Yeah, the W just means it's got some sort of chatter. I suspect that this isn't actually an issue with the main part of the PCB. part of me is really thinking that this might be a daughterboard issue or a connectivity cable issue. Can't remember the last time I took one of these apart. How does the weight come off? Why is this up in danger? Oh, I missed the screw. Don't know why. Oops. Right, okay. Let's take the daughterboard out. Yeah, I'm just going to have a look and make sure it's not like a ribbon cable issue, first of all. Often this sort of thing that we experience is because the ribbon cable is not being plugged in correctly. Okay, I mean, those look to be installed just fine. Let's try it outside of the case, actually. That might help. Okay, I'm pretty sure that this side's just going to work just fine. Fairly comfortable that that side's working okay. Yeah, okay. That side's fine. Let's see where we hit issues on this side. Let's reload. Okay, I think one of these keys is bound to reset, which is why we keep disconnecting it. Let's see if we can modify it. We have more LEDs this time as well. I'm wondering if it just needs a replacement daughterboard now. We have LEDs. All of the LEDs are lit back up. Okay. It is typing. Sorry, I'm typing in chat rather than a switch headset. Okay. Everything seems to be good now. This is an interesting one because the LEDs are all now working. I think this LED might be on its way out because it keeps flickering red. And I think that the customer has set one of these to reset, which probably isn't helping because I can't test those. Because as soon as I press one of them, it pings and resets like that. Yeah, okay. So that's what that key is doing. It's putting it in DFU mode because then now nothing is typing until I reset the whole thing. But then we're typing again now. So what's this one set to? Oh, that's for mode, and that's working just fine because the LED's lighting up just there. So I'm not quite sure what's up with this one either. Just bizarre things. Because everything's working now. Let's put it back in the case and see if that's fixed. I wonder if it was just the ribbon cables being shorted out underneath, because that's really, really common on these boards. Good afternoon, JQ. Okay, this one's, again, I'm not quite sure what's going on with this one. This one seems really weird and really strange. But it doesn't seem to have any issues outside of the board. So I think this might be either something shorting out whilst it's being built, screw in the wrong place there. Of Captain Tape, maybe. I mean, ultimately, if the PCB has a fault where it's shorting out because it's being stressed in a certain way, it could be a PCB issue, but it seems to be working fine just out of the case, which tends to suggest it's a build issue rather than a PCB issue. But it could be the fact that the PC has a slightly dodgy trace somewhere, and as the trace is being manipulated, it's causing an issue. But yeah, I'm not 100% certain. I'm sure I'm check it. All I can say is it seems to be working. Piece of paper can suffice. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to. I mean, it does have some foams underneath it, so I don't think it's necessarily shorting on the bottom of the case. Just strange behavior, intermittent fault. I mean, if it's an intermittent fault and I can replicate the intermittency of it, I'll just put a new PCB in for the customer. But although QK are notoriously difficult for us to get replacements out of at the minute, they're usually only providing replacements if we order more parts ourselves, which is frustrating. Yeah, it does have some foam that goes underneath. It says. Wait, is it right? Okay, let's try again. Okay, everything looks to be lit up correctly. Let's clear switch it. Okay, everything's working on that side. I'm not going to touch the bottom two because I know they're set to. Okay, interesting. Yeah, okay, I guess, I mean, everything's working now. Yeah, I mean, I think maybe that LED is potentially on its way out because it's glowing red rather than purple, but everything's working, everything's typing just fine, and I haven't done anything other than take it apart, put it together, and put some switches in. But it does feel like this key's set to reset, so I don't want to press that. Interesting. A small annoying bit with the Neo Ergo is when you lift the upper case, the left and right gasket often pops out. Yeah, I mean, I can see here that the gasket's actually popped off in a few places. I have got one here. Let's just see if we can take the screw out. I don't know if the others are in the casing. The actual top case for this wasn't screwed on when I took it out of the box, so I think a couple of these gaskets had moved. I think these have been just over-tightened with these gaskets because they're only supposed to be just snugly put on. Have a look at the case. Yeah, let's see if we can just undo these. It's a Neo Ergo, yeah. How have I picked up the wrong screwdriver again? So, this is two boards where I can't replicate the customer's issue, which is frustrating. Yeah, with these, with the gaskets here, what I'm doing, I'll try and zoom in and show you. So these little gaskets that are here, they sit on like the corner of the case. Just where the top case comes on, and what happens a lot of time is the screws, whether from the factory or by the customer, are fully installed so they're flush, but they're not actually supposed to be like that. So when you take the screw out to put the gasket back in, if you over tighten it, basically what happens is the little rubber gasket gets too compressed and pops out. So these are supposed to be just screwed in just until they're flush, not until the screw won't turn anymore. So, like so. So that actually sits much higher off the PCB than, and it just means that they don't come off then. Because otherwise, if you over tighten the screw, what happens is the rubber expands and gets pushed out of the way, and then when you have the friction with the top case, it comes off. Right, let's put the top case on and give it one last test. So we've got all of the LEDs are working. And the whole board seems to be working as well. So there doesn't seem to be any shorts now. Let's just reload that. Okay. So it was just my pressing that made it go red. Yeah, okay, so that all seems to be working just fine now, which is interesting, and another one where I can't fully replicate the customer's issue. I think for this particular one, what I'll do is I'll keep it on the test bed for another day or two. And I'll just give it another test after it's been assembled for 24 hours. Because everything looks like it's working just fine. And I can't fully replicate the issue. Unfortunately, Via is not logged in because I'm not on a VPN and I need a VPN for Via at the minute. So I can't test Via live on stream, but I will test it later on. See, that LED, I think, keeps fixing itself and then keeps changing itself. So maybe that is a slight issue, but everything else looks to be okay. Interesting. Okay. Not much more I can do on that one until I've tested it out in 24 hours time. So we will put this back in its case. Yeah, the Via have had to make some changes in the past couple of days to some Cloudflare stuff, and since they made that change, Via has just not worked for me at all. So, yeah, I now need to be on a VPN for it to work, and I don't want to turn the VPN on while I'm streaming. So yeah, pass. Okay, so that's 2 for 2. Let's see what's next for us to have a look at. Okay, so next up is a customer's thesis board. I have another lovely note. I do like it when customers write really clear notes about what they've experienced. Hi Jane team, as discussed via email, sending in my thesis PCB as I tried using the wrong FFC cable and burnt the C3 component, hoping for a repair or replacement. Many thanks for taking care of me at this point. Okay. So this customer has sent in their thesis, or one side of their thesis PCB. This is I haven't looked at this yet. This is how the customer sent it wrapped up. And effectively what they said is that whilst we were in the process of shipping out the replacement FCC cables, they bought some that they thought would work and it turned out they didn't. And it shorted it out. So what I'm hoping it's just the fuse on this board that's damaged and not the actual main board. So that's the one the customer sent to us. I have dug out a spare. So I'm just going to plug this all in and see if we can get it working. I mean, customer's choice is fine. So these are all of the spare cables we had to buy because I had to buy them in massive bulk because we couldn't get hold of them from manufacturer. So I have thousands of these now. I had to buy 24 boxes of this. The Neo Ergos are really, really nice. Okay, let's plug the ribbon cable in. And what I'm hoping is that there is a fuse component on this circuit board. What I'm hoping is that it tripped the fuse on the customer's version of it, which is here. And when I plug this in, the actual half of the PCB is going to work just fine. But we shall see. I think it's supposed to go this way. That doesn't. Oh, hang on, wait now. Is that's the way that these are supposed to be installed? Are these twisted inside? They can't be twisted. They folded over? No, they can't be folded over. I'm just going to check the Theseus build guide. Because I don't remember how it's supposed to go. Let me just double check this. Where is the build guide? It's a PDF I have to download. Okay. Come on, ribbon cables, where are you? Oh, yeah, okay, so it does, it is that is correct. Yeah, that's right. Yes, that is correct. Cool. Okay, let's grab some switches again and put these in, and then we can test this one and plug it in, make sure it all works. I'm hoping it will, because I don't have any spare left-hand PCBs anymore. I only have spare right-hand PCBs, so if the customer has tried this completely, we may be completely out of luck repairing it. But we'll see what we can do. There's one on a URL. Oh, well, okay. I found the build guide anyway. I just wanted to check that I've got the ribbon cables in the correct way around. But I do have them incorrect. These are just an old bag of switches. I actually don't know what they are. I have a feeling that they are, because they're unlabeled as well, there's no name on the top of them. I have a feeling there's something that I stocked from Gion a while back, and they were actually a package that got lost and returned to us from a customer. But I'm not 100% certain what they are. They don't feel particularly right. Do you have special switches designed for QC? Maybe ones with slightly thinner legs for the convenience. I mean, these are the switches. These are the Onyx switches that I use all the time. Like these have been used in test builds like this for repairs maybe 100 times now. This bag is my go-to for testing PCBs. So yeah, I guess you could look at it that way. I might not go in. Okay, that just does not want to go in, so I'm just going to put it in around. There we go. They could be raws. I don't think they're Gion raws, but I have a feeling that these were returned back to us, and it's just a nice amount of switches. They're not something I personally like, which is probably why we never restocked them. But they just end up being my test bag for pretty much every keyboard that comes through for a repair. Which is why the bag looks so used and so beaten up. They could well be raws, yeah. Okay, let's hope that this does fix this for the customer, because if it doesn't, I don't have any other recourse for them right now, which would be really sad, because I don't have any spare left-hand PCBs. I have plenty of right-hand ones to be fixed, but no left-hand ones. Okay, let's give this a try. So let's switch it again. Power surge on the USB port. Unknown to the USB device needs more power than the ports can supply. Okay, interesting. So I can't use that cable then, is the bottom line. I know the cable doesn't work now. Okay, so I'm going to have to take the one off of here and try that. We didn't get it. Looks like it's a no dice. Yeah, okay, so it needs more power than it can supply. Interesting. Yeah, okay. Interesting. I don't see any other damage on the PCB though. It does tend to suggest that there's a fuse on here that's being tripped though, with this power supply issue. That's slightly frustrating. I don't have a PCB schematic to figure out what is the fuse on here though to replace it. I can't see anything that specifically looks like a fuse. Maybe I can actually. Okay, so I can't see the issue. So, see how detailed we can get this. This component here is burnt out. Look, can you see that? Looks like it's got blue in the top of it. That component is completely burnt through. So I suspect that is our issue. And it does look like a fuse. So, I wonder if, not on stream today, but I wonder if I have a right-hand PCB that I can take that component off of and put on this left-handed PCB. I think that's going to be the whole spiel on this one. That's going to take some time to do. So that's another repair that we can't finalise today. But I will need to email my other two customers and let them know that it seems like their boards are fixed. Right. In the meantime, I'm just going to put this one to one side. There's nothing more I can do with that. Which is slightly frustrating. It will need a fair bit of off-screen desoldering and resoldering. A teaching session, not a repair session. I mean, the thing is, when you get something that says it's got too much of a power draw, it usually means that the circuit is trying to pull too much power, and the only thing that regulates the power that's pulled through is the fuses usually. So, or sometimes you use capacitors instead of fuses, but I suspect it's that capacitor or fuse, whatever that component was. But I will see if I can find the equivalent on the other side of the PCB and replace it. That is the plan. Right, okay, next thing to do is to unbox the Gundamhaku, which I'm pretty excited for because it's a pretty cool board. So, yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying the session, Mr. Glenn. The wait for GMK chocolatier was so worth it. They look great on my cream sonnet. Yeah, I mean, it was a very, very quick buy overall. I think 3 or 4 months end to end, so really, really quick. After the Gundamhaku, we are going to do... we're going to fix something I broke on my PlayStation mod, and then we're going to have a look at the... at something else. But Gundamhaku unboxing time now. So, first of all, we do get the GMK set. This is a slightly thicker GMK packaging than normal. And this might be one that I do have to keep in the packaging, because it is so nice. Let's just be really gentle. So, did you go blue or yellow accent? Blue and yellow, Swedish. IKEA. I think I like the yellow accents more on the thingy, but the blue it depends on the board, right? Sometimes the blue does hit nuts. This is a personal board, yeah. This was, ooh, I didn't know GMK could do triple stack box. I thought it was a bit thicker, but a triple stack box from GMK is new. I knew this was a chunky base kit. Look at the box. It's so cool. I didn't show you the best bit. Look at that. Look how cool that is. Super, super cool. Sadly, mine did get a little bit damaged, but that's okay. Yeah, this is absolutely personal. We'll be building this on stream on Sunday, which I'm excited for. Here's the authenticity card. And this is officially licensed. I think this is a new thing that they've done just for this set, but it does. I mean, I can tell just by picking it up that it's thicker. Like it was the first thing I noticed. So let's have a look at the keycap set. Okay, lots of novelties. A lot of novelties. These are all double shot novelties as well. There's a ton of novelties there. Oh, it uses the thick legends. So I don't know if you know this, but for Hiragana or Katakana, whatever it is, there are 2 versions of the legends. One has thick alphas for the cherry font, which you can see here, and the other one has thinner standard style legends. If you look at the legends here, there's one that has the hiragana with a standard thickness legend. Hold on, let me zoom in again. There's one that has the hiragana katakana with a standard thickness legend, and then this one is a lot thicker, like it's a thicker legend. So there's two different types. This uses the thicker ones, instantly visible. Come on, Jay, get your desk organised. And then on the bottom tray, it is a big old base kit though. I mean, there's no UK ISO in here, but we are going to build this board ANSI anyway, so it's a big old base kit. Big old base kit. That's the keycap set. But let's have a look at the real meat and potatoes of the stream today, which is the unboxing of the keyboard itself. So I've been doing a little bit of like this, trying to peek through, because this is like mesh. So I've been like going like this and peeking through. I haven't taken anything out of it yet, so I'm seeing it for the first time with you guys. Oh, okay, so we've got something wrapped in the single keyboard. This looks more of the GMK set. What's this? It feels like something wrapped up. I'll take a look in a minute. I guess this is PCBs. Yeah. So the case is really cool. It's got the branding on there as well. Let's see what's in here. There's something. What is this? This was a friends and family note. This is a spare badge luck we can put in the board. Camera, please. It's really hard to show you that because it's got a sticker on it. This is going to be like a spare little badge that we can pop in the board at some point. Yeah, it was SEA only, but this was a friends and family unit. So, being friends with Elaine, she offered to let me have this. Do you have the? Do you have they keys to do ISO with incorrect keys though? Wait, what? What? What do you mean, Jehovah? I'm not sure I understood that. I mean, the thing is, Elaine and I have worked together for a long time, and you know, we've done multiple projects together, so one of those things. So we have a plate which does support ISO, but we will be building this ANSI, and also the PCB, which is a Haku PCB with the Gundam edgings, and it's also labeled for ISO enter and ISO hash, so you can see how to build it, which is quite cool. Just plain on the bottom, nice either way. And then let's take a look at the board. I mean, you still have the keys to do ISO though, right? Just without the 2, 3. Oh yeah, without the localization keys for UK ISO. Yes, it does. Let's have a look in the top part here. It feels like there's a lot of stuff. So we have gaskets and feet. We have our authenticity card, which is stuck, which is pretty cool. We have our build guide card, which links to the build guide, the Discord server, tells us all about the different sizes of screws. We have another plate that feels like aluminium, which is also universal. And we have cloth, which is nice. Oh, I forgot to unwrap this, which is part of the keyset as well. So as well as the B&K box, there's also another 2 trays of novelties, which is just kind of insane. And then in here is the actual board itself, which is a lovely navy blue velvet bag. Here's the board itself. I'm quite excited. It's got the strike emblem on the front. Yeah, and then look at that. How cool is that? So there we go. We are going to be building this on Sunday, which I'm really, really excited for because it's just a really cool thing. This is the badge that we can replace on the back. I know, right? Mr. Blackbird, look at that. Look how cool it is. So good. Absolutely beautiful. I'm so stoked to be building this on Sunday. The white is the better board, yeah. I absolutely went for it. Spinning wedge. Yeah. It's very hot and nice. It does. It's just super cool. Like, it is so cool. And the internal. Yeah. What a beautiful, beautiful board. So, yeah. If you want to see me assemble this, come and check it out on stream on Sunday, because that's when I'm going to build this. I'm very, very excited for that. It's not often I get boards that are massively exciting to me to build anymore, but this is one of them. Like a lot of the boards I get so many just because of what we do, and we see so many boards come through here that often it's hard to be excited for something. But when it's something that I personally own and have bought and been invited to be part of by someone who I respect, it hits a little different. Okay. It's like a little authenticity certificate on the right. What switch are you planning on using? I don't know yet, Kaz. I think I might use Key Geek intros, but I'm not 100% certain yet. I'm not dead set on the Key Geek intros, but I think that's where I'm going to be up to. Yeah, big fan. Big fan. Just missing a Bandai Namco logo? Yeah, maybe. It's a great colour, almost great post. Yeah, it's like it's more like a pearlescent white than a real white. It's almost like a grey tinge to it, but yeah, it's beautifully nice. You know, really, really excited for it. But yeah, that's it. And with the massive key set choice as well, it's going to take a while to decide what to put on there. Right, anyway, that being done, it's time to get on with... I'm going to build it Ali or CF, probably CF, but I might let chat choose for me on the stream. Jehovah. Maybe I'll let chat choose. Right, so it's time to get back to modding my PS1 console next, because I've not got too much longer before I have to finish the stream. And I messed up. The other week I talked about doing a HDMI mod on this, so we had native HDMI out. And I am still going to do that. But I did mess up, because the HDMI port is going to sit here. And I was meant to desolder this, but I desoldered this instead. So now what I need to do is resolder this port back on and desolder this port. So I'm going to do that now. There's the mod that we installed the other week, the other board on the bottom. But I'm going to resolder this and then uninstall the other one. So resolder here and then desolder there. And then maybe I can look into the next mod that we're going to do today. Where did I put my solder in? Pearlescent, pearly white. Yes, yes, it is very much pearlescent white. You are spot on, dude. So I'm just going to gently solder each of these pins back in place. I'm going to have to try and come in from the top here. The last thing I want to do is bridge any of these pins. Bottom. Okay, and I'm just going to solder on the pads again. Okay, that's that resoldered. Let's take a look at that. So it's nice and flush with the PCB. So nice and flush. It's nice and square. We haven't melted any of the plastic, and soldering's pretty neat. So next job is to now desolder this one, which is what we should have done originally. We don't need our soldering iron anymore. We now need our desoldering gun. Some folks call it turkey teeth. Biotech. What do you like, dude? So we're just going to let this get up to temperature. And then once this is up to temperature, we can then uninstall the correct module. And then after that, I do have a PSU to replace on a Dreamcast. So I have two Dreamcasts. My ideal setup is going to be a Dreamcast outputting over component into a CRT, and then a Dreamcast outputting HDMI into my arcade cabinet. Now the arcade cabinet one is done. You saw the HDMI mod a week ago. That's all running. We actually played on stream with it. It was working just great. The other console, which is all original, is turning off after about 30 seconds of play, and I think it's either overheating or it needs the PSU replacing. So we're going to replace the PSU with a more modern one, and then we're going to take a look inside the case and see if there's any issues as to why it's overheating as well. So I know very, very light on the stream stuff today, but let's get this desoldered. That should now be desoldered. So we should be able to remove this port now. It says. think just one of the pins just at the back is just slightly still connected. So I'm just going to heat that up and give it a wiggle. So I think there's just a tiny little bit of solder just holding this one in place still. And that's the port nicely desoldered. But actually, what we are going to do is we're just going to clean that up now. So you can see there is little bits of residue of solder just on the pads. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get some copper braid and just clean all of that up so it's really nice and smooth. So we're literally just going to take the copper braid, push it in. That's much cleaner and tidier. So there we go. Yeah, something like that. Cool. Okay, so there's a couple of little bits of soldering done on this machine. I'm just going to trim the copper braid now so I can get rid of the bit that's full of solder. And that is the correct port desoldered and the other port put back on and in place really nicely. So yeah. Okay, so now we are ready when the HDMI mod arrives to put the HDMI mod in, and I think it's this unit here that we have to solder it all the way around to. I'm pretty sure it's that one. So hopefully we'll be doing that really soon on stream. Okay, next up, this is the Dreamcast that's overheating. Such satisfying noise. It's really satisfying when the solder comes off well. So I was trying to play Sonic Adventure on this the other day, and we will be changing this for a GDMU at some point as well. I was playing Sonic Adventure on this particular Dreamcast, which was my childhood one, and I was not having a great time with it. It just kept resetting every 5 minutes. So I figured we'd take the case apart and we'd have a look at what was causing that. Why is that not what's going on? I need a slightly smaller screwdriver? Or do I need a slightly larger one? Right, we have the correct screwdriver here. That's really tight. I don't want to round the screw off in there either. I might have to get a different screwdriver, you know. Because the screw is just wanting to round over. Or I might have to put a flathead into it. I have to put a flathead into it, I think. Maybe I'll try with a slightly larger screwdriver. There we go. Larger was better. Just as she said. Sometimes you have to go with a bigger one. Dreamcast was such a good console. I never played on my friends. The fighting game was so different to Mario 64. Yeah, I mean, I always think the Dreamcast was my preferred console. It just had so few games for it compared to like the PlayStation 2 and stuff. I just think it was a little bit ahead of its time, maybe. It was a little bit too early. So, why are you overheating, Mr. Machine? You look pretty clean inside, so the fan isn't blocked, which is a good sign. There's no blockage on the side of the case either. So that tends to suggest it is just a power supply issue. So if we unclip this cable, we should be able to then take out power supply. Oops, just like so. And we're going to basically replace the entire power supply today. Get rid of this one and put a whole new one in. So for this, I do have a little kit. This is called the Redream PSU, and it basically comes with a replacement power supply and all of the cables that you need. I'm just going to check if I've done the instructions correctly, but I'm pretty sure I have. Step 1, undo the Dreamcast. Step 2, remove the consoles and the power supply. Step 3, put the new one in. Step 4, connect the PSU all back up. Nice. So everything looks good. The pins aren't rusted at all. The case has seen better days, but the pins aren't rusted at all. Had some Tony Hawk Nights into Dreams was POG. Yeah, okay. Had some Tony Hawk RE titles and Jet Set Regular USB-C. No, so we're actually going for a DC power supply unit here. This is just going to be a DC power supply unit. Interesting that pin is uncovered, but that's okay. And effectively what we're going to do is just going to drop the PSU onto the pins here. It says lining it up is often the hardest part. There we go. Just like so. I'm going to use one of these screws just to hold this back down. Just like that. And then we're going to use this to hold on the case at the back. And this is a little 3D printed part that just slots in there nicely and allows us to push through, screw on the nut, just like so. And now we're just going to be able to use that as a DC power supply unit. And then we will replace this at some point with a GD-EMU. And then we're just going to untuck this round, connect that cable in. And there we go. We have a replacement power supply unit all fitted. Let's get the top case back in place. And then I can go and test this afternoon and make sure it's all working. The warm bit being outside the case must be better longer term anyway. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't need much power, doesn't a Dreamcast, so it's just built into the actual socket that goes into the wall, the actual plug head itself. And there we go. That should now give us a better power unit. It'll run cooler, and it shouldn't have any issues staying turned on. But I will test it and see how that goes later on today. And we're just about at the end of the stream as well, because I do need to stop at 2:30 because I've got to go and prep for DHL and UPS arriving. So we've just about timed it right with the customer fixes and everything else today. Plug back in. And there we go. I'm going to go put that. The Dreamcast was criminally underrated. It's one of my favourite consoles. There we go. I do need to set up an SD card actually for GDMU. In fact, so I could probably do that on stream live actually. because there is some really good software for that. Let me see if I can share that really, really quickly. What's it called? Okay, that's the wrong folder, Jay. Let me see if I can share this on screen when the app decides to run. Is it not going to run? Okay, I think the app is not going to run, which is typical. Let me try it again. Try it a different way. Okay, let me try and run it from this folder. Here we go. Right. So I have GD menu card manager. Let me see if I can share this with you so I can show you. Window capture. Add a new window capture. GD menu. No. That one. Okay, cool. So this is GD menu. I'm going to pop it up there so you guys can see it. There we go. Right. So what I can do is I can actually format an installed SD card to run open menu or GD menu. We're probably going to run open menu, and I can then add games to this. So I do have some rips of games that I actually own, so I'm not going to use any that I don't own. So let's put those on here. Sort by type. Yeah, okay. So first of all, I have Soul Calibur, so I'm just going to drop that. And then next up, I have Sonic Adventure, which you just saw a moment ago. And we're just literally dropping games onto this SD card, as you can see, and it's into the application. And then what it's going to do is it's going to figure those out for me. I have Marvel vs. Capcom, the green loading bar at the top is it preparing it. And I have Crazy Taxi. And I think that's it for rips that I've actually done. Yeah, okay. I think that's it for rips I've actually done at the moment. So I need to rip some with the other games. But all I need to do now is hit save changes, and what this is going to do is it's going to basically write to the SD card the open menu open source software and then put the games on there in the correct formats as well. So we're going to hit the changes. This takes a little while to do. There is a progress bar that you guys can't see actually, but you can see it's flashing green up at the top. It takes a few minutes to go through, but it won't take too long. I have to head into the office now. Marvel vs. Capcom, enjoy the stream. Thanks, man. When will you be adding the balls you showed last stream? Which balls are those? Firelin Blaze? Which balls do you mean? Sorry. So basically, it's just copying over Marvel vs. Capcom 2 now. Had a cat in the middle. Oh, they've already been listed and gone. I think you meant these. We no longer have any of these anymore. I'm holding on to the ball bearings, so I'm going to drop the test. But yeah, we've sold out these now, I'm afraid. Now it's doing Crazy Taxi. It's putting that onto the SD card, and then in the end, we should have an SD card that's all sorted. We might do another round of them, Fire and Blaze. There we go. Our SD card is now done. So now on the actual SD card, I have folders for each of the games, plus the GD menu, all installed just from the app, and it does that every time for me. So it's nice and simple and easy to do. So I'm gonna basically go and try that out in the other Dreamcast today and see if that's all working. But it should be good. It was the JJW screw tray. Right, okay. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I thoroughly appreciate it all. We've done a ton of different stuff today. We've fixed some customer boards, or found that they don't have issues that the customers are experiencing, which is strange. We have sorted out, we failed to fix a Theseus, which a customer had damaged by using the wrong ribbon cable. But we might have a fix for that. It just did a little bit more in depth than on this stream today. We have upgraded a Dreamcast PSU, and we have desoldered and resoldered the correct socket on a PS1. And we've also unboxed the Gundamhaku, which was really cool. So thank you very much for the stream today, guys. I thoroughly appreciate you all. And I'll see you all on stream on Sunday, where we'll be actually building the Gundamhaku, and then it will be available for people to type on at Keebs and Coffee next week if you want to come along. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll see you again soon. Bye.